Welcome to Knol, where we dive into the key insights from noteworthy books. Today, we're unpacking Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, a masterclass in negotiation from a former FBI hostage negotiator. This isn't just any negotiation guide. It's a book that could redefine how you communicate in tense situations, both personally and professionally. So, whether you're looking to improve your bargaining skills at the market or aiming to navigate high-stakes business deals, you're in the right place. Get ready to equip yourself with the tools of empathy, strategy, and psychology that are about to change the game. Let's get started. Stepping into the realm of negotiation, it's not just about the cut and dry. It's about understanding the nuanced dance of human interaction. That's the philosophical bedrock laid down by Chris Voss in Never Split the Difference. His journey as an FBI hostage negotiator showed him that at its heart, negotiation isn't a battle to be won. It's an exercise in critical psychology. So let's peel back the layers and delve into this philosophy. For Voss, empathy reigns supreme. It's not the touchy-feely kind of empathy. Oh no, we're talking about a very tactical, calculated form of understanding. This is about genuine engagement with the thoughts and feelings of the person across the table, something akin to walking in their shoes. And why? Because when you understand what drives the person you're negotiating with, you hold the key to influencing the conversation. Next up is active listening, an absolute cornerstone for Voss. This isn't the head nodding and kind of listening many of us do while formulating our next point. Voss's brand of active listening is about being totally present, picking up on subtleties, and using them to build rapport and trust. It's about hearing what's said and, just as crucial, what's left unsaid. You'd be amazed at how much people reveal when they feel truly heard. And here's a critical piece of Voss's philosophy. The goal is not to reach a compromise. It may sound counterintuitive in a world where we're taught to meet halfway, but Voss sees compromise as a lose-lose scenario. Instead, he offers a potent, alternative aim to influence. When you influence, you're not bulldozing over the other person's needs or surrendering your own. You're steering the negotiation in a way that you can both come out feeling victorious. The art of negotiation, as envisioned by Chris Voss, turns traditional ideas on their head. It's not about the strong-arm tactics or bending someone to your will. It's about empathy, deep listening, and subtle influence. This way of thinking sets the stage for everything else Voss teaches us, from the tactical strategies we're about to dive into next. So keep these philosophical tenets in mind as we explore the nitty-gritty techniques that can transform the way we handle negotiations in our daily lives. In the world of negotiation, emotions aren't just obstacles to overcome. They are powerful tools that can be harnessed for connection and understanding. This is where tactical empathy comes in. It's a concept coined by Chris Voss that goes beyond simply recognizing someone's feelings. Tactical empathy is about actively and strategically acknowledging your counterpart's emotions and using that understanding to guide the negotiation. Imagine you're sitting across from someone who's visibly frustrated. Instead of plowing ahead with demands or arguments, take a moment. Use tactical empathy. Say something like, "It seems like there's a lot of pressure here," or "You sound passionate about this." These aren't just words. They are your tools to unlock what's really driving the person you're negotiating with. It's about getting into their world, seeing things from their perspective, and validating their emotions without necessarily agreeing with their stance. This strategic understanding allows you to address concerns and fears that might not be overtly stated. It gives you a kind of X-ray vision into the motivations of others. And while you're giving them a sense of safety and trust that their feelings are understood, you're also gathering invaluable information. How? Because when people feel understood, they drop their guard. They are more likely to reveal their true aim, their hidden needs, and even alternative solutions that you might not have considered. By using tactical empathy, you're not manipulating, you're maneuvering with purpose. It's a subtle shift from a combative stance to a collaborative one. And the beauty of it, it doesn't require you to give up what you want. In fact, it might be the very thing that helps you achieve it. Because when the emotional barriers come down, the path to agreement becomes clearer for both sides. So the next time you find yourself in a negotiation, remember, use tactical empathy, understand the emotional landscape, and not only will you see where they're coming from, you'll know where together you could possibly go. When you're down to the wire in a negotiation, the tools you have at your disposal can make or break the outcome. Among these tools, two particularly standout techniques from Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference are mirroring and labeling. Let's break these down. Mirroring is almost too simple to be true, but it's impressively effective. It's the art of replicating your counterpart's words verbatim. Picture this. Someone says, "I can't budge from this price," and you respond with, "Can't budge from this price." What does that do? It shows you're listening and prompts them to elaborate. Suddenly, they were explaining more about their position, often revealing more than they intended. It's a subtle nudge for them to open up and share information, and it buys you precious thinking time as well. Now let's talk about labeling. Labeling is all about acknowledging and giving a name to the other party's emotions or viewpoint. It goes something like, "It sounds like you're feeling pressured about this decision," or "It seems like this issue is really important to you." By doing this, you're validating their feelings without agreeing or disagreeing. It's a powerful form of tactical empathy because you create a safe space for the other person. They feel understood, and that's crucial in building rapport. When someone feels like you get them, they're more likely to trust you, and in turn, work towards a mutually beneficial agreement. These two techniques might sound too basic to be potent, but they're rooted in our intrinsic need to be heard and recognized. Mirroring and labeling don't just steer the conversation. They dig deeper into the psyche of your counterpart, cushioning the path towards unlocking agreements where there appears to be none. In your next negotiation, give them a try. You might be astonished at the doors they open. In the world of negotiation, yes is the word we all crave to hear. But what if I told you that no might just be the unsung hero of any negotiation? Let's delve into this paradoxical strategy from Never Split the Difference. Imagine the word no as a starting point rather than an end, a protective barrier that gives the speaker the feeling of safety and control. This is the gateway to understanding Chris Voss's counterintuitive approach, mastering the art of no to navigate towards yes. When someone rejects an option outright, it often reveals what they're actually comfortable with. This is where you, the negotiator, step in with finesse. By encouraging a no, you open the door to real dialogue. It's about crafting questions that allow the other party to say no and feel in control, such as, "Is now a bad time to talk?" Often this no leads to more information. It allows the counterpart to clarify their position and offer up what they are willing to accept instead. This nuance is where the negotiation starts unfolding. Every no gets you closer to understanding their true constraints and motivations. Moreover, when people say no, they are in a mindset to defend their decision, inadvertently providing you with their strategy and perspective. So how do you get comfortable with no? By recognizing it as a tool for clarification, not an outright rejection. The key is not to fear no, but to embrace it. The moment you make peace with no, it stops being an obstacle and becomes a pathway that leads to a solution that can satisfy both parties. And there you have it. By building a strategy that values no just as much as yes, you inch towards an agreement that's not built on compromise, but on mutual understanding and respect. It's a dance of psychology and tactical communication where no is not a setback, but a crucial step forward. In negotiation, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Calibrated questions are the secret sauce that Chris Voss swears by. So what are these questions? Think of them as open-ended inquiries starting with how or what that encourage your counterpart to think and respond in detail without realizing that you are steering the conversation. For instance, asking, "How am I supposed to do that?" opens a dialogue without confrontation. It makes the other person lay out their cards without making them defensive. The genius of calibrated questions is you're not pushing for a yes or no. You're making them solve your problem for you. It signals that you respect their intelligence and point of view, and you're encouraging them to engage and collaborate on the problem at hand. Imagine you're buying a car, and the dealer won't budge on the price. Shift the power dynamic. Rather than proposing a lower number, ask, "How can we make this price work for both of us?" Suddenly, you have your dealer brainstorming solutions to your benefit. Calibrated questions also allow you to navigate the conversation while giving up apparent control. It's a subtle art. You're not demanding, you're curious. You're not leading, you're following. But in truth, behind every "how can we" or "what does it take" or "what does," You're the one guiding the dialogue towards a destination you've already chosen. Using calibrated questions transforms you from an adversary into a collaborator. You nudge the conversation in the direction you want, all the while letting the other side feel like they're holding the reins. It's this elegant dance of give and take, underpinned by strategic questioning, that encapsulates the beauty of negotiation, as taught by Chris Voss. In the realm of negotiation, it's not just what you say that matters, but also how you say it. This is where the 738-55 rule comes into play, a principle developed by psychology professor Albert Mehrabian. According to this rule, effective communication is comprised of 7% spoken words, 38% tone of voice, and a whopping 55% body language. Now, Chris Voss takes this rule to heart in Never Split the Difference, emphasizing that if you want to influence and persuade, you've got to pay close attention to not just the words you're choosing, but the way in which you deliver them. Picture this. You're in a tense negotiation, and while you're saying all the right things, your arms are crossed and your voice is flat. Your counterpart might not even hear the words you're saying because your body is shouting, "I'm closed off and uninterested." On the flip side, maintain eye contact, nod understandingly, and use an engaging tone, and you've just opened a door to a world of influence. It's in these nonverbal cues that your counterpart's brain is subconsciously picking up trustworthiness, confidence, and openness. Voss underscores that the true power of body language is not just in how you read others, but critically in how others read you. This understanding can be a game changer in any negotiation scenario, but it's not a simple matter of mimicking positive body language. It's about authenticity, about genuinely connecting with and understanding the person across from you. From the subtle tilt of the head to the timing of a smile, Voss encourages us to use nonverbal cues strategically to create a bond and establish rapport. And once you have that connection, you'll find that the path to yes becomes a whole lot smoother. So next time you step into a negotiation, remember it's not just a battle of words. Embrace the power of the 738-55 rule. Harness your body language and watch as you turn subtle movements and tones into powerful tools for successful negotiation. Bargaining, it's that pulse-racing stage of negotiation where numbers start flying around and stakes are high. But Chris Voss doesn't leave it to chance or simple back and forth. He introduces us to the Ackerman model, a methodical approach designed to help you navigate the numbers game with finesse. So, what is the Ackerman model? Picture this. You've got a target price in mind. To start, you're going to offer 65% of it. Yes, it sounds low, but stick with me. After your initial offer, there are carefully calculated increments by which you'll increase to 85%, 95%, and finally 100%. Each concession you make is smaller than the last, signaling to the other party that they're squeezing all they can get out of you. But Voss doesn't just give us a formula, he sprinkles in a little psychological magic as well. With each counteroffer, you're going to use precise, non-rounded numbers. It gives the impression that you've calculated your offer down to the last cent, even if it's not actually the case. And it often dissuades the other side from asking you to round up. Here's the kicker. In between offers, employ empathy and tactical pauses. Acknowledge the other person's struggle and demonstrate that you're considering their position. This isn't just throwing numbers around. It's an intricate dance between fact and feeling. Lastly, when you sense you're nearing their limit, that's when you throw in a non-monetary item, something that doesn't mean much to you, but could be valuable to them. It often seals the deal, giving them a sense of victory while you walk away with the price you aimed for. By breaking down the Ackerman model, Voss isn't just giving us a bargaining tactic. He's equipping us with a structured negotiation advancement toolkit. It's a potent reminder that successful bargaining isn't about splitting the difference blindly. It's about defining the terms and playing your cards right with a dash of psychological insight to wrap up the deal. And that's exactly what makes this approach so compelling. In your negotiations, what do you do when you hit a wall? This moment, my friends, is what Chris Voss calls a deadlock. And it's where the real magic can happen if you know how to navigate it. Voss tells us not to fear these standstills, but to embrace them as a moment to regroup and dig deeper. First, take a breath. And don't rush to fill the silence if it arises. Silence can be a powerful tool that compels the other side to reveal more than they intend to. Now, let's talk about black swans. These are the tiny, often overlooked details that have the power to completely transform the outcome of a negotiation. They're called black swans because, like the discovery of the bird no one believed existed, these details can be total game changers, rewriting what we thought we knew about the deal at hand. Voss emphasizes that every negotiation is, in fact, a treasure hunt for these black swans. So how do you find these elusive creatures? Well, it's all about diligence and paying close attention. Never assume you know everything, always stay curious. Ask questions that prompt the counterpart to reveal information that they hadn't previously thought to share. It's in these moments, often after a period of deadlock, that black swans tend to reveal themselves. Another key point: never underestimate the value of the information you already have. Review it meticulously. Sometimes a black swan is hiding in plain sight within the intel you've already gathered. Remember, we're all human, and things get overlooked. Be the person who finds the hidden silver lining that even your counterpart didn't realize they gave you. Navigating deadlocks and uncovering black swans are crucial skills in high-stakes negotiations. These strategies call for patience, attention to detail, and an unyielding curiosity. Traits Voss assures us can lead to not just a resolution, but a resolution that far exceeds the expected outcome. Keep these points in mind, and you may just be able to turn what looks like a negotiation going nowhere into one of the most fruitful deals of your life. And that brings us to the end of our insightful journey through Never Split the Difference. We've navigated the intricate dance of negotiation, reflecting on Chris Voss's rich experience in the field. The marriage of psychology and strategic thinking we've explored can clearly elevate our negotiating game, turning even the most inexperienced among us into proficient negotiators. Remember, it's not just about splitting differences, but about mastering the art of letting the other side have your way. Thanks for joining us on Knol, and may your next conversation be your best negotiation yet. Stay tuned for more essential summaries to enrich your knowledge and skills.